Well, this has been a big week all across the board for many of the cloud services, and it's been a huge boon for some like Stadia, while others not so much. So in this video, we're going to take a weekly roundup of all the cloud gaming services who've had news, and we're going to start this with Geforce Now, who is about to lose a bunch of games on the service, as well as we'll talk about which games they did add, and we'll also cover which game you can play for free with GFN. Also, PS Now got some new games for the month of September, and they aren't too bad. Shadow also has an update on activations for pre-orders, and finally, Stadia has one of its biggest weeks of its lifespan. So we'll cover all of that in this jam-packed cloud gaming news video, as I make these videos every single week, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you have that notification bell turned on, as well as smash that like button so we can reach more cloud gaming hopefuls. But with all that, let's start with the newest news that came out just some days ago. That is that Geforce Now is about to lose a bunch of games on October 2nd, including ones just recently added to the platform. Now, I counted about 25 games lost, and the list here is it's not too bad. Notable games that are leaving the service though are Subnautica, Rock of Ages 3, a recently released title, House Flipper, Cooking Simulator, and a few others with some following. Now, this is a pretty big exodus of games leaving the service, but honestly, looking at this list, most of these games aren't world beaters, or they're not really anything huge. With that said though, it's never a good thing to see games leave the service, and this of course is still always odd news to me, considering that Nvidia forced the hand of many of these developers and publishers to choose which games they wanted to be remained on the service. So you would think that games leaving like this on such a big, massive exodus like this would no longer be a thing. All around, this is unfortunate news, because this is the stigma that Geforce Now faces, that games that they do buy with the hopes of playing it through this platform can be taken away at any point. But for the most part, I still remain optimistic, because these types of announcements are rarely happening anymore, unlike they used to when it was almost a weekly occurrence. Either way, this was a big bummer to see, but I am a bit relieved to see that none of these titles on this list were that huge. Either way though, not a good look. Let's hope that they continue to just add games and this doesn't continue to remain to be a problem. Alright, let's move on to the positive Geforce Now news, as they did add 6 more games this week, on top of making sure that you can play this week's free Epic Game Store title on the service. Let's start with the Into the Breach game. Now, this is a title that you can claim for free on the Epic Game Store and play it right away with Geforce Now. Like always, I'm going to have links down below, so that way you guys can make sure you claim this game and play it through the service, even with the free tier. It's an excellent game and it's one worth checking out. Geforce Now also announced 6 titles that came this week, with the highlighted games here of Crusader Kings 3. This is the sequel to Crusader Kings 2. It just released and it's an excellent strategy game that is receiving a ton of praise right now. We also have Iron Harvest, yet another brand new strategy game with a top-down view. The game's also getting a lot of good reviews right now, and it also features online multiplayer battles with ladders, rank systems, and leagues in place. The gameplay looks excellent. We also have a WRC9 FIA World Rally Championship on Epic Games. It's also made its way onto GFN, and to round it up, we have Gunfire Reborn, The Settler 7, and the original Guild Wars Game of the Year edition. So overall, positive news here with Geforce Now for the week, outside of that unfortunate news that was pretty much mired the entirety of all of this. But either way they did have some good games that they have launched this week, and it's a good stuff. Like always though, I'm going to have links down below for you guys to claim that free game and play it on Geforce Now, so watch for that down below. Alright, let's move on to some other cloud services here, as we have PS Now, who added a few more games to their cloud library with Resident Evil 7, Final Fantasy 15, WWE 2K19, and the sci-fi game Observation. Overall, not a bad set of games that have gotten added to PS Now's library, as you can definitely have dozens of hours of fun with pretty much almost every game on this list. But of course, there's been nothing too brand new or crazy this September. Either way, stay tuned as I'm curious to see with the new PlayStations what they might have in store for PS Now's future in the coming months. Like always, stay subscribed and be updated so I can go ahead and relay that info. So we have an update for Shadow and activations, and if you're one of those that are waiting for Shadow and you're waiting with your pre-order, they released some info on when you might expect to see the service come to you. They claim they are finally catching up on almost all the pre-orders for those in New York, Texas, and Chicago, while those folks over in Paris are going to have to wait a little bit longer as they are focusing on stability improvements. Now, the dates that are shown here on the screen, as you can see, most of North America pre-orders should be fulfilled by the end of the year, while those in Paris and surrounding areas might have to wait until February 2021 if you pre-order now. Those in Amsterdam could also potentially get it as soon as the end of the year. So overall, we mostly got good news on this front, with the exception of the folks in Paris if you were interested in getting Shadow at this very moment. But either way, if you are interested in signing up for Shadow, I would highly recommend it. It's one of my top 3 cloud services. I do have links down below. Click on those links and use my $5 off your pre-order with my code, so you guys can enjoy the service as much as I have, especially with the pre-orders finally coming to pass for a lot of the different countries. So we'll see what happens. Like always, I'm going to keep you guys updated, but I do hope to see that they speed it up over there in the Paris regions, but glad to see that North America is going to start getting their access here soon. All right, let's finally move on to our last round here for the cloud gaming news, as we have Google Stadia had one of its best weeks since the service has gone live back in November of 2019. This week it saw the release of 6 pro games and 2 high-quality AAA titles. The 6 pro games that have come out with great reception are Ember, Hitman, Gunsport, Metro Last Light Redux, Hello Neighbor, and Super Bomberman R, featuring the new 64-player Battle Royale that I have now gotten to play quite a bit myself, and it's an absolute blast. These have been 6 excellent pro titles, all of which then I do recommend, but the fun didn't end there. Marvel Avengers dropped on the 1st and 4th of September, and it has come to good reception on Stadia, as well as NBA 2K21 making an appearance, and it has been another title that has been looked and ran great on the platform. Stadia just wasn't done with the games though, as they announced 10% off the Premier Edition running to the 10th of September. So if you're interested in picking up Stadia or trying with the official controller and the Chromecast Ultra, you have a deal right now. Otherwise, right now is the best time, in my opinion, to join the platform. If you're new or you're wondering what's happening, the amount of pro games that have stacked up for you guys to join the service are now up to 25 games. This is easily one of the better weeks the platform has had, and it's got so many high quality titles on the horizon in the coming weeks and months, with Baldur's Gate 3, Serious Sam 4, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, and a few others. If you're a Stadia user, you have a lot to be excited for, and if you're brand new and you're looking to possibly check out the service, right now couldn't be a better time to look into it. Either way, good job for Stadia this week. They did an excellent job. Good to see that a lot of games are coming out, and I'm excited to see what else they have in store for us in the coming weeks and months. But alright, that does wrap up the cloud gaming news for the first week of September. And man, oh man, there is a crap ton of exciting things on the horizon for all of these platforms. I'm so excited to continue covering the news here on a weekly basis, but let me know your thoughts on any of today's news, with Geforce Now losing more games, Shadow activations, or Stadia's excellent week. Let me know down below, and like always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.